Hello everyone, Eternal Flame here to do a video talking about the top 5 missed opportunities in Jujutsu Kaisen. Or well, not top 5, just a random 5 that I came up with that I really wanted to talk about because I feel JJK has missed a lot of opportunities. But before we get into this video, be sure to subscribe if you like anime content like this, and let's get into this video. Now I do want to start this out by saying we have some hard limits that I am going to put on this video before we even start. Which that hard limit is, if there is a chance that it could still happen in the future and not as a flashback, I am not going to put it here, though there are some limits even to that. For example, I will not be including a Heian era flashback, despite that being what a lot of people want, because I see that being as something likely to happen in the future, and that being as a flashback won't diminish the thing. For me, in my opinion, if it is a flashback that will incredibly diminish the impact of said scene, then I will not include it here on my list of 5 missed opportunities. Other than that, there aren't really any limits that I'm going to put on this list, other than the fact that I'm only going to be talking about 5. And if you guys end up liking this entire content, I have a lot more missed opportunities for Jujutsu Kaisen, and I can make a sequel video to that, and I can include probably some of you guys' missed opportunities too for Jujutsu Kaisen for the next one. Anyways, let's get into the first missed opportunity for Jujutsu Kaisen. Now, I was going to originally try my best to not talk about fights at all because I want to make a specific one for missed fights, but I felt this one should be included in this video because it's just such a missed story opportunity that would have been so incredible, which is a sparring match between Yuji and Megumi. I feel a sparring match between Yuji and Megumi should have happened because it would have been amazing, especially after the Jujutsu Kaisen anime Season 1, to see that at the end, with Megumi and his new domain expansion fighting against Yuji with his Black Flash and his new abilities, seeing how the two of them equal out and rival out with each other, and like right before the fight ends, Gojo intervenes to get them into a mission and prepare for the next mission. This would have been so incredibly cool to see, like see how both of them had improved from up to this point from their missions, how much progress they have made and how well they do against each other, and just how well their kits contrast against each other and how amazing they could be in the fight against each other. Like, it would be sick. It would be so incredibly sick, and it is a crime that we didn't get to see this, in my opinion. And I think a lot of people will actually agree with me on that we should have seen a sparring match between Yuji and Megumi. They're actually pretty close friends, and this would have been a great way to show that they're close friends, because they can have this casual sparring match where neither of them are trying to kill each other, just a fight for the sake of the fight, and them both getting stronger as a result of that. It would have been absolutely sick. But no, we just never got to see it, as sad as that is, because it would have been absolutely cool. Sure, we got to see Yuji and Megumi fight alongside each other, and while this isn't a debate of who I think would win between Yuji and Megumi at that point in the series, this would just be really cool to see, and see how Gege writes around it, see how Yuji has to work to figure out his abilities, while Megumi has to realize Yuji is this truck and he has to be incredibly careful. It would have been sick, in my opinion, and just seeing how both of them grow from this fight and become better friends, it would have been great. The next missed opportunity that I have on my list is a chapter dedicated to showing the main cast preparation for the 1-month time skip and battle against Sukuna and Kenjaku. Now, a lot of people I think agree with me especially on this because it was immediately glazed over. And I feel like this is a huge problem because we could have seen so many epic things. We could have seen a lot of sparring matches go down between characters that we would never get the chance to actually see fight each other again. We'd get to see things like Yuji and Kusakabe training with each other, the lower end members of the Jujutsu High just agreeing that they aren't going to be much help other than maybe giving their techniques to Yuta. All of that good jazz, and there's one really big thing I want to see, or well, 2 big things I want to see. One thing is Gojo catching up with just everyone from this, because yeah, that is a missed opportunity in itself, because Gojo could have caught up with everyone, he could have seen how everyone was doing, seen how well they held up and how much stronger everyone has gone, and just getting this proud moment for Gojo, Gojo being so proud of everyone, just like the father of his children, and it would be great. Just seeing Gojo's premonition came full circle and everything he predicted up to this point was amazing. All of his predictions were coming true. His students were starting to reach the levels of strong enough to help take on the Jujutsu world and help lead it. Even though they weren't on his level yet, they were starting to be able to handle themselves and help fix the world for the better even without him. So Gojo could feel proud, so we could get a scene of Gojo feeling proud of them. It would be great. And who knows, we might even be able to see a training session from Gojo where Gojo has to train against the Jujutsu Big 3 or Kashimo, or how he is going to plan and Utahame curse technique reveal. Actually, nah, I like how Utahame's curse technique was revealed originally, but just seeing Gojo get a good experience and good feel for all of them and how powerful they've become and how far they have all progressed would have been great. But there's one more scene especially that I would rather see, which is Yuji and Kusakabe in training, and especially a conversation between Kusakabe and Yuji, because this is an underrated moment of Kusakabe, where Kusakabe doesn't care that Sukuna is the one who killed all of Shibuya. He straight up thinks Yuji needs to die. Like, he thinks that Yuji needs to die, and a conversation between that and Kusakabe realizing he was wrong and deciding to train Yuji instead would have been great. Like, it would have been great build up into Kusakabe actually training Yuji in this month time skip, and it was so missed, and it's a crime that this opportunity was missed, especially considering we got like one whole chapter that was basically dedicated to the Peanut Gallery's dialogue before Gojo and Sukuna activated their domain expansions. And I'm just like, come on, Gege, if you could show us a whole panel of the Peanut Gallery just talking with each other, you can show us a chapter of them having an entire conversation and them all prepping, and that would have been so much cooler rather than just interrupting the fight to have the Peanut Gallery commentate on the entire fight that's happened so far. But yeah, it's a missed opportunity, and one of the hugest missed opportunities in all of Jujutsu Kaisen, because there were two things that could have been included that would have made it so cool, but we just didn't get to see it, and it's kind of just big sad. And there was just so many other things that could have happened. Yuta and Hikari talking, Hikari and Maki, and just seeing Maki hating on Hikari in real time would have been funny. Kashimo and Maki, I feel, would have really funny interactions, and I'd like it. Just seeing all people just having to do with Takaba's antics, just being done with Takaba's very existence. Higuruma being there would have been cool too, because Higuruma just has some really cool interactions, I feel, and has really cool interaction potential. And an interaction between Higuruma and Kashimo, the two big players in that Tokyo colony, would have been sick as well. Like, the only two people who had gotten over 100 points to set their own rules on their own. It would have just been so sick, but we just didn't get to see any of these interactions, and it was just a missed opportunity beyond a missed opportunity. The next one that I have on this list, though, is seeing Megumi or Sukuna tame Mahoraga and the other Shikigami. And just, yeah. I mean, like, this is just my thing I have in general that I've never really not liked with Jujutsu Kaisen, which is that we never really get to see Megumi tame any of the Shikigami. He just gets them off screen, and the same happens with Sukuna, and I'm like, it's not that much of a missed opportunity in comparison to what I had previously just said, but it's one that gets on my nerves and I wish we got to see more often, especially with Mahoraga and how much he has been hyped up to be at this point, to be the Shikigami that no one has ever tamed. We should have seen that one get tamed, but all of them just got tamed off screen, and it is what it is, I guess, but it's just kind of big sad. It would have been so much cooler if we could at least get like a chapter or something, or like a panel dedicated to Megumi fighting it and having to tame each and every single one of them and how he tamed them, but no, instead he just pops up with new ones all the time, which it is what it is. It doesn't diminish the story as much, but yeah. I will also admit that it would definitely get repetitive after a while, having to see him repeatedly tame Shikigami after Shikigami, but at the same time, like, I just would have liked to see at least one of them getting tamed. That's all I would have wanted to see, but instead we never really get that opportunity. That's just my thing, though. Like, it is a personal pet peeve and a personal missed opportunity for me, at least, but I know other people feel different in comparison to myself. Like, it just would have been so much cooler, and a lot of people I've seen agree with me, especially on this take, that we should have seen Megumi or Sukuna just tame the Shikigami and tame a lot more of the Shikigami, and especially tame Mahoraga, because of how much Mahoraga has been hyped up to this point. And now I'm going to go on to my next take, my next missed opportunity, which is going to be my final missed opportunity of this entire video, and this is one that I really wanted to talk about, which is expanding the Yuji extermination arc. Because that one was really short, but it had so many opportunities to just be one of the coolest arcs. Because just imagine Yuji having to fight against a bunch of Jujutsu sorcerers that are all hunting him down because of what Sukuna did in his body, and how much of an opportunity this will be for Yuji to grow, how much of his opportunity this will be to show Yuji's growth, and then end it off with Yuta coming in and finishing him off, and showing that Yuji still has leagues to grow, even though he is in the grade 1 to special grade 1 category by this point, alongside the help of Choso. Just imagine all the cool fights that could have gone down, the world building that would have been sick for this too, and like we just get a mini villain involved with this. And while some of you guys might be saying, oh, then it would feel like an actual arc rather than this mini arc, and I'm like, yeah, it would, but we have gotten like a bunch of Culling Games arc that didn't need to be as long as they did. So if we got Yuji's extermination arc to be expanded, in my opinion, it wouldn't have made the story suffer. If anything, it would have made it a lot more cooler, because we would be able to get so much world building, so much sorcery, and like the power of the higher ups would especially be shown, because it's like they're not strong on their own, but they have the money and they have the influence to send out these people to hunt down Yuji. These people that would normally not hunt down a kid, but because of what they were ordered, they are hunting down a kid in order to take him out and take out Sukuna in the process, and just seeing how Yuji would have to adapt and fight against several sorcerers with techniques he had never seen before, because up to this point he was only really used to fighting against cursed spirits, and just seeing Yuji have to fight a massive amount of sorcerers would have been sick. This would also be a good moment to show the effects of what Sukuna did, because while some of these could be just people who were sent out by the higher-ups and don't really care, some of these Jujutsu sorceries could be people who lost friends in Shibuya due to Sukuna's barrierless domain. And some of these people could just be out there searching for revenge against Yuji in place of Sukuna, because they can't kill Sukuna because Sukuna is too strong. But if they kill Yuji with Sukuna in his body, then they take out Sukuna, and they just misunderstand that, and they can do like a permanent in-mark on Sukuna, and it would just be amazing, like all of the guilt that would have to go on Yuji. And this would be amazing build-up as well for the Higuruma arc, because Higuruma would just be the final send-off and close-off for this entire massive arc where Yuji is starting to feel better about himself too. It would just be really sick and be so much better for the story. And you could have like ended this off by having all of the sorcerer bounty hunters go into the colonies in the coming games and have these ones all be finished off by Kashimo, and that is how Kashimo managed to get the points, and it would have made even more build up for Kashimo too. It just would have been so much more sick to expand the Yuji extermination arc, in my opinion, but we didn't really get that expansion, even though I feel we definitely should have, just to see Yuji fight more people, because we don't really get the opportunity to, and just to show Yuji has come a long way from the battle against Mahito, but he still has a long way to go, because there are people like Yuta out there, and people like Yuta are the people Yuji is going to need to face, and to put that goal in Yuji's mind that he needs to get stronger would have been absolutely sick. Not gonna lie, this also might just be me really liking the Vigilante Deku arc and just wanting to put that on Yuji, because I feel this would be like a best place to put it, where there are just so many people who hate Yuji for actual good reason too, because of what Sukuna did, and just seeing Yuji have to adapt to all these curse techniques and these new types of style would really help Yuji and Yuji's fight IQ, and just, it would be an amazing arc. I do think it would be an amazing arc, and there's just so much amazing potential for it. These are just my 5 main missed opportunities though that I came up with for Jujutsu Kaisen, and I want to see what you guys are in the comments and what your guys' opinions are on the missed opportunities that Jujutsu Kaisen had. I'm gonna see y'all later. Peace.